Well, thank you very much for taking the time to read our newsletter. And if you got down to this bottom bit, then it can't be all bad. It's been a while now since I actually sat and talked to everyone about anything that wasn't dentistry. And obviously, we've had some pretty strange couple of years, everyone. And it's got me thinking. And it's got me thinking about, like so many people, what society's values are. I think with the whole beginning of the COVID pandemic crisis, I remember thinking to myself very clearly, forget about the actual virus, forget about the pandemic, what's going on. This is going to really demonstrate where we are in society now. We now live in a world that's absolutely dominated by fear. Our generation has been defined or called many things, and it could almost best of all be described as a generation of cowards. We no longer strive into the future with great gusto to face difficult odds. We have become a society that has been dominated by the pursuit of safety, which in itself is not such a terrible thing, and for some people it works really well. But to have the idea that safety is of paramount importance in our life is something that we've been conditioned to, but is it really the foremost thing in the human condition? It's not a recipe for life promotion, and it essentially paves the way for authoritarian rule. One very much thinks that the world would benefit from more people living dangerously. If danger is a byproduct of worthwhile goals, that has got to be a prosperous thing for society and mental health. It has to be. It was the Roman historian Tacitus who said that the desire for safety stands against every single noble and great enterprise. Because really, in a world which is so risk averse and so safety first, our options really are to shrink into an ever smaller comfort zone. Now, this just leads to all the anxiety disorders we see, not necessarily in our generation, but certainly in our children's generation. And there is this free floating anxiety everywhere we see around us. And of course, the further flaw with this approach to the future, which features such a safe road, is of course it opens up and paves the way to more authoritarian and even totalitarian rule. There is this trade off. We will control you and we will keep you safe. And a fearful society is so ripe for that. Because when a society elevates safety to the position of a first order value, freedom by definition becomes second order. And of course, history shows us that those in power have so often used our safety as a means of persuading us to accept tyrannical rule. If a society socializes people to be fearful, they will open arms, they will welcome the tyrants to control them, because the tyrants will tell them, we will keep you safe, and people will accept the most ludicrous tyranny in response to having that safety. Relieving people of the burden of freedom in order to make them feel safe is a recurring theme in the history of authoritarianism. It was John Stuart Mill, the philosopher, who said, a man who has nothing that he is willing to fight for, nothing that he values more than his own safety, is a miserable creature who has no chance of being free unless made and kept so by the exertions of better men than himself. I feel we need to look at the uncertain future not only as a sort of threat, but a source of opportunity. If you think back to the Enlightenment and the Reformation, society was full of hope for the future. But you turn on the television now, you open your newspaper, and it's fear. We are made to be scared of everything. We're scared of the air we breathe. We're scared of what's going to happen to the planet. We're scared of what we eat. We're scared of foreigners. We are scared of everything. And it has, in our children's generation, this has actually created so much free flowing anxiety. And we are seeing this in all the mental health issues around us. Now, quite how you change this, I don't know, because when you have a society where there is so much fear, this is a right breeding ground for those who will exploit it, because there is money to be made in fear, a lot of money. And I think the best that we can all do is our little bit to stand up for it and say, no, I'm not going to be afraid of the future. I'm going to live my life. Now, of course, this isn't for everybody, and everyone needs to do what's right for them. But I think we should seriously stop and ask ourselves, what are we doing for our children's generation if we allow ourselves to live in a world where it's all about safety first? We even have that expression, safety first. Is that right? Is it? I don't think so. Within certain scenarios, safety is important. You come along to see us at the dental practice, and of course your safety is the most important thing to us in that arena. But within our entire lives, really? And I don't know. It's something I think we should sit down as a society and have a serious debate about. But what is going to hamper that debate is the money. There are so many companies, from the companies that make bleach that will kill everything, to the companies that will monitor your front doorbell. All of those companies are trading on our free floating anxiety and fear. So, what of the future? I don't know. I think that let's live a little bit more dangerously. Anyway,